Welcome to the inaugural episode of My Random NBA Thoughts, the only show where I tell you my random thoughts on the NBA. And honestly, who knows? Maybe it'll be a weekly thing. Maybe I'll bring up things from 20 years ago. I'll bring up things from yesterday. Maybe I'll even predict the future. Who cares? It's my show. So I get to do whatever I want, basically. Anthony Edwards. Absolutely just insane. The man is still super young, and he's already a megastar. He is currently, according to NBA.com, 10th in the MVP race. So, we're later in the season, so that means he's not going to win it. But he has brought the Timberwolves to a top 3 seed in the Western Conference, which, I didn't see that coming. I feel like maybe we should have, because he was growing, and then when he played for Team USA this past offseason, he was just absolutely killing it. And yeah, the man is an absolute walking highlight reel. It seems like at least once a month, he does some sort of dunk that reminds you of Vince Carter mixed with prime Michael Jordan. It's absolutely insane. He already gets comparisons to Michael Jordan himself, mostly based off of his looks. But, look, it's not too early to say that his play is comparable to Jordan's. Look, that might be blasphemy right there. I already know I'm gonna, possibly get some comments down there. Do I think he's as good as Michael Jordan right now? Let's just get that out of the way. No, I do not, because he hasn't won a championship. I think they've made it to the playoffs maybe once with him on the team. However, the kid's amazing. All right, they're gonna make it to the playoffs this year. I unfortunately don't have much faith in their team this season. I wouldn't be surprised, though. The kid is just absolutely a massive competitor. It's insane. I want to show the dunk on John Collins, maybe right around here. Oh my God. And there are people out there that say the NBA is boring now, and shame on you, okay? I just don't know. He sort of, I feel like he has sort of propelled not only the entire team, but Karl-Anthony Towns has sort of had a new breath of life here. He's always been good. Yeah, all right, let's be honest. But, they were never a top 5 seed as far as I can remember, with Karl-Anthony Towns being the guy. And now that Anthony Edwards has blossomed into a obvious number 1 option, it's sort of seemingly inspired Karl-Anthony Towns to just improve himself. He was an all-star again this year. He's just shooting the lights out. I forget if he's injured right now. I could be wrong on that. But regardless, I am actually really happy for Karl-Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, and the Timberwolves. I like Rudy Gobert as well. I'm a huge defensive fan, but I just think it's absolutely phenomenal what they're doing over in Minnesota. Do they have a chance in the playoffs? I just don't see it right now. I feel like the Denver Nuggets are still just impossible to beat. If KD and the Suns can sort of maybe, get it all together, just get it exactly right, then yeah, they're gonna do just fine against them. Or the Clippers. I love Kawhi Leonard. I like Paul George. I don't love Paul George because I just never really been a huge fan of his, but I do like his game. I appreciate him as a player because he plays defense. He scores really well, just like Kawhi Leonard. I'm a fan of James Harden too. So, and they're playing really, really well right now. So it's going to be hard to see. Obviously, you can't talk about the top of the West without mentioning the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're absolutely a shocker this year. I mean, who would have thought? You plug in a rookie, technically rookie, Chet Holmgren into that lineup, and now they're the number one seed in the West. Who would have thunk it? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is on another level. I mean, I'm going to look at my notes here, but it is such a tight race for MVP between Shai and Jokic. They're literally 1 and 2. It's a toss-up. Now, if you're looking at the numbers, technically, it should go to Jokic again, which I think it will. I think ultimately it will, because Jokic is completely proven all around. He's an NBA champion, Finals MVP. He's 2-time MVP already. And yeah, I think he's going to get his third just because he's almost averaging a triple-double again. It's just unbelievable. He does this while seemingly not giving an absolute shit about basketball. Which, you could say what you want about that. I'm sure the dude does care about basketball, obviously. But, it's just insane how effortless it seems like it is with this guy. And Shai, I am so proud of him. I love watching the Thunder play. I think his driving ability is amazing. I think his three-point shot has gotten really good. And just overall, I mean, he's averaging 30, pretty much 31, 5, and 6. That's amazing. I mean, just the fact alone that he's averaging 31 points a game is MVP worthy. And they're the number one seed in the West. But again, I think his time will probably be maybe next year or the year after that. And that's the thing. You don't even know, because guys like Anthony Edwards or Luka Doncic, Doncic. Sorry. Okay? Don't sue me out here. And then you got freaking Wembanyama. He's already playing. I mean, look, the Spurs are terrible, so don't shoot me in the comments for what I'm about to say here. But I really feel like Wembanyama is a candidate to become the next youngest MVP ever. I almost said Rookie of the Year, but I feel like he is my pick to become the youngest MVP in NBA history. Will it happen? I don't know. It's going to be tough. But look, Wemby does things that nobody's ever seen. This guy is 7'4" with an 8-foot wingspan. Everybody. 8-foot wingspan. He can shoot the three. He can finish at the rim. This guy gets alley-oops. Okay? He gets passes. He's running towards the rim. And then he just turns around like he's dunking on a 7-foot rim. Or, I'm sorry, like it was me dunking on a 7-foot rim, maybe 6-foot rim, because my hops really aren't that fantastic. And he just makes it look effortless. It's absolutely insane. I don't know if you guys saw that Space Jam Michael Jordan dunk that he did, where he was stretching his arm out as long as it could go, and I'm 99.9% sure that he made it. So look, if there's any guy that could potentially become the youngest MVP ever, close your ears, Derrick Rose, it could be Wemby. Now, I've sort of had this battle with myself and like several of my friends, because there's been guys that could have beaten that record, like Luka Doncic, but with like his team's seeding and everything, it's kind of hard to say. But, that's also the issue with Wemby. I mean, if he can bring the Spurs into some sort of contention in the next couple of years, I think he's like 19 right now, I don't see why he couldn't be the youngest MVP of all time. Now, another sort of hot button issue, or topic I should say, is should he be in contention for Defensive Player of the Year? As far as I know right now, he's not on the sort of like top 3 or 5 players that could win it. I might be wrong on that. I'm sorry. This is sort of coming, off the cuff, off the dome here, because I do have my notes here, but I didn't look that up. This is just completely at random here. Hence the name of the show. Ha. But yeah, the dude gets like 1 million blocks a game. I feel like he's going to be the 5th player in NBA history to get a quadruple double. He's just that good. And he's got a brother who's playing in France right now, and I think he's like 6'8". But, I actually saw a funny comment that said he's like the French Thanasis Antetokounmpo, which is absolutely hilarious and most likely, I don't want to say most likely true. The kid's like, 17, 18? I don't want to, be a grown man over here being like, yeah, that kid's going to suck. He's probably going to be amazing. So, who knows? Rudy Gobert's probably going to win it again. I know there's another guy. Is it Derek White or somebody else that is a real contender for Defensive Player of the Year? But I'll have to get back to you on that one. And really, the final thing I want to talk about is my boy DeMar DeRozan. You thought I wouldn't go an entire video without talking about the Bulls. You were almost right. Yeah, almost right. So, DeMar has been playing really, really well lately. And it has, or at least should, spark a debate amongst Bulls fans saying, hey, look, I know we don't want to run it back. We could still get rid of Zach LaVine, but we have Lonzo coming back. Hopefully next year. It very much so looks like it. Should we re-sign DeMar DeRozan? And I say maybe. That's not a good answer. It's a sort of an open-ended answer if that's a thing. But look, okay, I think he's 305 years old. He's averaging 23 points a game, something like that. Regardless, he's going to win Clutch Player of the Year, most likely. Big shout out to Kobe White. His chances for Most Improved Player have skyrocketed. He hasn't played super great lately, but I think he should still win it, and I think he's going to win it. Completely unbiased take, I know. But, okay, yeah, back to DeMar DeRozan. What do? Do you re-sign him? And what's the deal look like? I don't think he's going to want a, 2-year deal, maybe 3-year deal with a 3rd year being an option. And what is the money going to look like? Are you going to dig yourself a deeper hole? If you were able to somehow, by some miracle, trade Zach LaVine, which, Bulls fans, I hate to tell you this, but you're probably going to have to take a crappy deal on that one. So if you're able to trade Zach, you free up a ton of cap space, hopefully. I'm not a genius, so I don't know if, all his money would just go, we would just get all that money back. Okay, don't grill me in the comments, okay? I know a lot about basketball, I'm not a financier, okay? But yeah, who knows? I would love to keep DeMar. I am a huge fan of his. I think he's amazing. He's like our little safety blanket, When it's like a close game or we're down 14 points with 5 minutes to go, you could count on DeMar most nights to bring the ball up the court, dribble it inside that 3-point line a little bit, and just make a mid-range like it's absolutely nothing. the guy has he has that Mamba mentality, you know. So it's a really conflicting thing. I have absolutely no clue what they're gonna do. I mean, I have a general idea just because it's the Bulls, it's AK, Mark Eversley. I feel like they're gonna overpay. Um, Call me crazy though, but I have a little bit of trust that they're gonna make at least one good-ish move. If we're able to get a lottery pick, a little bit controversial here, depending on who you are, and on the situation, but I saw a mock draft that said that they could go for, that had them taking Terrence Shannon Jr. on U of I. So, I mean, I'm not going to say why that's controversial. You could probably look that up yourself. But, I mean, I will say he's a phenomenal player, at least at the college level. He's an All-American. He's explosive. He could shoot. And, yeah, he's a very energetic type player, and that could be huge. Who knows? Maybe him playing with Io and Kobe, and all the other young guys could work. But, yeah, I mean, that's really about it. So, yeah, I'll see you.